We may find it a bit troublesome, but there are people who just love that weather. Can you imagine you're on vacation right now and work is the last thing on your mind and you are enjoying some good showers with your remote control in your hand, watching straws or something, and you have a good kako tea and some good bakes, and life is a dream. So, in all things, that's why we say, in all things, give God thanks. Because to some persons, they might be, boy, that whether they're messing up my project because you might be building at this time and the guys cannot work because it's raining. Or you might be a farmer and you're extremely happy for that, the showers. You might be a livestock farmer too, and you have cows and goats and so forth that really, the livestock that really needs some fresh chlorophyll in those leaves. Again, you as that farmer, you're happy. So we're happy that we are truly in paradise. So, 1 minute we have sunshine on the outside, and the next minute it's raining. All we need to do is be safe. And again, it's a great reminder that we are in the hurricane season. June 1st have gone, and that's the beginning of the hurricane season. And so it's a reminder to get prepared. Get prepared. My co-host is in the house looking all diplomatic this morning. I don't know. Look like she has some big meeting. She has a Dominica flag on her jacket. And like when you're a diplomat, she's wearing and looking like one this morning. Good morning, Trudy.
Hi, Carlton. Good morning to you. Sometimes you dress like a diplomat when you want to maybe touch some diplomatic money. So you have to, you
I
have
like
to,
that.
you have to dress for what you want to achieve. Good morning to you. Good morning to the listeners of Health Vibes here on Q95. Carlton, it is indeed a very good reminder for us that we are in the hurricane
Yes,
season.
yes.
This morning at the State College, we have an expo of some American universities who are here. And the area where they are set up at the State College, the rain just, is making this area very, very wet. And I said, boy, look at that. You plan,
Yes.
you have this plan, and, and the rain just comes and possibly changes what you had in mind. But as you said, it reminds us that's the season we're in and we have to stay prepared. I said to myself, the hurricane season even started to give us reminders from May.
I know.
Yes,
Yeah, from
from
me.
May, So June 1st was the official start, but from May we had some weather events that were a little, troublesome. Yes, like the flooding in Kalibishi.
Yes.
So yes, stay prepared, stay vigilant because the season is here.
And I have already, gone through my first aid kit and have taken off all the expired drugs and supplements. I've done that. I have cleaned my drums. I have 3 big drums
Okay,
at
your water
home.
collection,
Yes, I've
yes.
cleaned them up properly and filled them up with fresh water.
Mhm.
And I can tell you, listen, this water stays in there for an entire year sometimes, and it makes absolutely no muss, nothing. No, it just is clean.
Mhm.
So I've already began doing that. Cutting the overhead
Branches, yes. I noticed
branches,
quite a
that
few
too.
people doing that in my
Yes.
area, which is good because there are so many overgrown trees, even going over what you call it, the electrical
That's
wires.
true.
So I have noticed people trimming those, and that's good.
Mhm.
That's good.
And not forgetting your drainage. Making sure that you have good passage. You have your water can be, can pass through easily without obstruction. I know most of us live close to a ravine or not far from a river or some type of water source. You want to be as well, be observant and be monitoring. You know what is happening. You want to pay close attention to the bulletins, from credible sources as well. So you want to be alert. I can't. Do you know the hurricane names? I can't remember not one. Let me see if I
I
get that.
saw the list.
Let me see.
I saw the list. I was not particularly petrified of any of the names. So I guess that's good. Sometimes certain names strike you as we bonche, that one will be bad. But I feel like the list was, fairly
All
the
right.
names were
So I have them.
you have
So we
them.
have Andrea,
Andre is a nice name.
Barry, Chantel, Dexter, Erin, Fernand, Gabrielle,
Gabriel.
Gilberto, Imelda, Jerry, Karen, Lorenzo rather, Melissa, Nestor, Olga,
Pablo.
Pablo, what's that?
Rebecca.
Rebecca,
Sebastian.
Sebastian, Tanya, Van, and Wendy.
Right.
And usually, if these hurricanes become disastrous, then
The names are
they are
retired.
expired.
Yes, the
Yes,
names are
yes,
retired.
yeah, the names are retired. So we'll never get another Hurricane
Never
Maria.
Maria
We'll
again.
never get a
No.
Maria. We'll never get Hugo. We'll never get David. Right.
Mhm.
So once these names they were serious, they are totally they are not usable anymore.
Mhm.
So these are the names for the hurricanes, the Atlantic hurricane season for 2025. And let's pray that these hurricanes stay away from us and do not cause any major
Yes.
problems for us. We know the peak season usually around September
September.
when school reopens. These days, that's why I took vacation in May, because with climate change, things are so unpredictable. I didn't want to, be saying, well, okay, I'm going to take holidays around summertime, and then I'm stuck somewhere and cannot come home, and then my family, I'm not home, and things are happening. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to take it before the Atlantic season actually begins. So that's why I took mine in May. So we pray that everything will go well, and we will do and be safe. We'll be safe. We'll be safe.
We'll be safe.
Right.
Yes, and prepared.
So we have our usual
So
yes.
social media
have
listeners
Hazel
and
Ann.
viewers, Hazel and Anthony, good morning to you. Natalie Simon, good morning to you. I see you've joined us, and all the others who are jumping on the Facebook page of Q95 and the YouTube channel of Q95. Good morning to you guys, and of course to the people listening on radio. We do have our stalwart
Of course.
radio listeners who can't see us, but they listen every Wednesday. Good morning to you.
Of course. So this morning we actually have an open line, but we are going to be navigating in the area of fathers, because this coming Sunday is Father's Day, and we are giving and we putting all the effort out to really celebrate Father's Day in a big, big, big style this year. We are not focusing too much on the negative. People always say, oh, fathers this, fathers that. But honestly, I think the generation now, I am seeing that they're making massive improvements. I mean, I see that there is a company has a competition going on.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen it.
Daddy and Me or something like
Yes,
that, where the
I
fathers
saw-
have to post
yes.
pictures with their children.
Yes. I saw one of my colleagues at work. He was trending. I think he had the most votes when I looked at it yesterday, 700 and something votes. Yeah, and I mean, his daughter is so beautiful. So I see that's happening, and you go to the PTAs now, and you're seeing fathers are coming in. Like tomorrow, I think my daughter, I think they're having a Father's Day, a Fathers Assembly. Fathers accompanying their daughters tomorrow
school?
at St. Martin's School, and I have seen it in previous years. And listen, fathers really, really show up. I've seen it at the convent high school as well, and fathers have really, really shown up. So this morning, we will talk a little about Father's Day, about fatherhood, what it means. I will share my own experience of being a father and what it has taught me and how I have executed in that role, and hoping that a father may hear and may take some tips. So we are going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back with you this morning on Health Vibes.
convenience make a big difference, then you can trust me. I know just where you should be. That is JP Mega, 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 Mega. The one stop shopping on me, nigga, 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 nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. Shop with your daughter, with your son. Shop it to everyone. What a happy place, happy place. Oh, JP Mega, 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 Mega. The one stop shopping on me, nigga, 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 nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. Shop it to everyone. What a happy place, happy place. Oh, what a happy place. But just stick some more any item and you automatically qualify for discounts. Check us out at the Mega Store in Fongolia where there's lots of parking on Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Mega, the best family shopping experience.
Introducing Johnny's Pharmacy, brand new website www.johnny's.gm. It's your time to jump the line. Shop now at johnny's.gm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Johnny's.gm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Visit us at www.johnny's.gm. Johnny's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes, every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Lando with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Depot and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday. So be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way. Convenience make a big difference, then you can trust me. I know just where you should be. That is JP Mega, 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 Mega. The one stop shopping on me, nigga, 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 nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. Shop with your daughter, with your son. Shop it to everyone. What a happy place, happy place. Oh, JP Mega, 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 Mega. The one stop shopping on me, nigga, 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 nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. Shop it to everyone. What a happy place, happy place. Oh, what a happy place. But just stick some more any item and you automatically qualify for discounts. Check us out at the Mega Store in Fongolia where there's lots of parking on Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Mega, the best family shopping experience.
So we're back with you.
Yes, we are back with you. Of course, it is Wednesday before Father's Day. And Father's Day this year is June the 15th, this coming Sunday. And we really want to, in this show, take a look at fatherhood and its impact on society in general, its impact on the outcomes that we have in society. Carlton is a father and he speaks oftentimes about his children and his journey. So Carlton, I want to start off with you and tease you a bit on your fatherhood experience. What has it meant to you to be a father? And of course, as we go along in the show, the people listening, fathers who are listening, can also chime in, and people also can give their impressions of their fathers and what their fathers have meant to them, as well as we seek to highlight this positive role today on the show. So Carlton, fatherhood, what has that meant to you? What has that journey meant to you?
I'm actually starting up with a smile. I think this is the most amazing experience that I've had in my life journey. I will start off by saying that the time that I was born in the very early 70s, it would seem, now that I am older, looking at the journey, looking at um, my peers, people who were born at the same time with me, many of us had fragmented relationships with our fathers. And it would seem that that generation of men, they did not do a very good job being fathers to their children, especially most of them who were born in the early 50s. We don't know. I don't know what was the culture like then. I don't know what transpired with that generation, but it would seem that most of us did not have a tangible emotional and psychological relationship with our fathers. I can remember that, it's something that I've shared. I can't remember ever, going on a trip with my father, or maybe my father lifting me up and taking me football or anything like that. I know that, I knew my father. I knew him. I would be around him. But in terms of conversation about what to expect as a man, what to expect as a teenager, nothing like that was narrated to me.
Mm.
So being a father now, like when I aspired, when I knew that I wanted to be a father, I had already made that declaration in my life that I would not be the footprint of what I experienced. I wanted to make a tangible difference in the life of any child that would come into my life, any child that would be given to me as God's greatest gift. I would definitely make that difference. And when I look at when, having children, I always look at it as um, they being a blank page and I being the author that would begin to start this story.
Mhm.
And what type of story would I have wanted to start for these children? Um, would it be something that resembles what I grew up with? Or would it be something totally different that brings the level of emotional intelligence and true um, uh, psychological and social connections? And I think fatherhood is an amazing journey, particularly when you are a healed man. And I'm making that statement because a lot of the times, parents, we make children, or children come in our lives. God give us kids as gifts, and we ourselves may be fragmented, may have psychosocial issues, and these issues impedes or affects the way that we relate to our children, the way that we socialize them, the way that we nurture them, the norms, values that we actually teach them. So I will begin by saying it is important to be a healed person. And by so doing, you know, coming with that expectation, knowing that I want to be a father. I am excited about the journey. This is what I want. The first thing that I remember when my daughter was born, the first thing that I said when I was when she was given to me in my hand, first thing I did was prayed. I prayed
Mhm.
for her and I actually presented her to God at the hospital. And then the second thing that I said to her, you are worthy. That's why you're born, and you have rights. And that is something that I've lived with all my life. Telling my children, as small as you are, you have rights. So even when my daughter, in particular, would be picky about foods and her mother forcing her to eat the food, I would say, no, don't force her.
Mm.
She has rights because maybe really and truly her taste bud doesn't like that particular food. But you as a parent, you're thinking, well, I want the child to be fed. I want her to eat this. But the very same way you have taste buds that doesn't, not because the child cannot speak, the child might be trying to say, well, I don't like that particular food. I don't like the taste. So that is something that I believe in. Um, your kids have rights. They have rights. And knowing how to observe and listen to your children. One of the things that I have done, and I must say, a lot of my practice as a father came from literature, reading, a lot of reading, reading good books, and comparing and contrasting what how my childhood was and what I would have done differently, and using or closing that gap and making things better in the way that I procreate and the way that I socialize my children. So one, I don't believe in beating children. That is me. I don't believe in beating children at all with belt and whip, and that is something that I never practiced. And if you look at them, you will never say so. You would think that they were well schooled and they were punished. No. I believe in children understanding what authority is, understanding what the values and the norms of the home that they're brought in, the environment, what is expected of them. So oftentimes, if a child, one of the children, were to do something that wasn't, I would normally just sit with you and say, call you up and say, we need to have a conversation. That behavior that you just displayed there, is it something that you've seen at home? Is this the expectation that, is this what is expected of you? And immediately they would begin to do their own analysis and you see them crying, big cry. Like I beat them because they recognize this is not what is expected of you. And this is not the behavior that is expected. And this is not what we're taught. And so when you raise your children that way, but it comes with a lot of conversation. It cannot be something that is intercepted when necessary. You rationalize, you let the child know what is the expectation, what are the rules, the regulations, what are the guidelines at the home. It's like the workplace.
Mm.
There are guidelines. You know what to wear, what not to wear. There are guidelines relating to work. The very same thing is applicable to the work to the home. So one of the rules that we've always had at home, that we will never use profanities to in arguments, right? So our children don't know what it is to have a disagreement and use anything like a profanity because it's an established rule that we've
Mm.
had for years at home and we've kept it. You understand? So it's about so parenting and fatherhood has so much more to do with the emotional, psychosocial support that you give to your children, and how are you really raising these children in a world that is already fragmented and have so much chaos happening in it that they can make a difference in a positive way. And I think that is one of the things that I do well. One of the things that I do as well, truly, and I've said that already, is to have the children evaluate me as
Yes.
a parent. And just recently we had a little meeting at home, and where we asked the children, you know, what do you think about my parenting skills, my mood of communication? Um, in terms of when something goes wrong, in terms of solution orientation, what how do you grade me? And it's a good way to have open dialogue where children can be objective and they can be open and they can be truthful. But as I said, it all begins with effective communication. If you have been telling the children, shut up, move aside, come out from there, you don't expect the children, they might be afraid to tell you the
Hmm.
truth.
Hmm.
They might be afraid to tell you, Mommy, I think you swear too much. You understand? Because, right. But it begins with good communication and an open dialogue that it's a two-way switch,
Mhm.
that you can converse with me and I can converse with you. And that is where it begins. I remember a friend of mine saying that you cannot build relationships without communication. But it's what type of communication? Effective, clean communication, whereby the children, one of the things that we've always said is that there should be no secrets. So there should be nothing that is so bombarding that you're so afraid to talk about. Because my eyes, the way that I look at you, should tell you whether you can trust me. And a lot of the times parents don't recognize that the way we look at our children can tell us, can say whether that child will want to open up with you or whether that child will just shut down and not tell you nothing at all. Because they can almost see if you're going to judge them. They will feel, if they get that feeling of comfort and safety from you. So I think for me, father would encapsulate all of these um, attributes. Safety, where you can protect your children at all costs. You can embrace your children, reward them. That's one of the things that we've always practiced. When Christmas comes, whenever comes, we reward you for doing well at school. We reward you for making good examples of yourself, letting you know that the teacher is in charge of the classroom, the principal is in charge of the school. You are not the one in charge. And so when I send you to school, I expect you to follow these rules and regulations, and you rationalize why you should follow it. And this is why effective communication in the socialization of children is really, really, really important. It's not merely just giving the children the brand clothes and having
Mhm.
them look like a clone of you because you're wearing X clothes and your cap back to front and you dress the boy with a 200 pair sneaker, and this and that and whatever it is that makes you. Sometimes that's what the fathers know, that's what they know, and that's what they think fatherhood is all about. You understand? But it's much more than that. How do you converse? Because that was a problem that my father and I had. We just had no conversation. We would have sat down in a room together, and practically, my father would tell me if I'm all right. And
Mhm.
I'll respond, I'm fine. And that was it, because there was no relationship. So, in order for children to be able to foster and develop good relationship with you, we have to learn to converse, have fruitful conversation. So, I have a almost 16-year-old. We start talking about girls. We start talking about relationships. I'm teaching him how to communicate effectively with a prospective mate. You understand? And how to be patient with a lady, with a girlfriend when that time comes, because women are more emotional than we are. You understand? So I'm already getting him in that frame of mind, teaching him the precepts as to what to expect. You understand? So it's observing and really spending time with your children. You have to spend time with your children. You have to be able to observe your children, recognize, something doesn't seem right. I recognize that this child, every time he gets angry, he wants to knock something. How do you intercept that and recognize, are there underlying factors that causes that child to be so angry? Is that child being bullied? Is that child in an environment where they see violence and anger? And that's what they'll be learned. So these are things that you have to be able to observe as a parent and make the necessary changes.
Mhm.
Truly, I've had a mouthful.
Yes, indeed. Carlton, let me just give our listeners the numbers.
Yes.
As we said, this is, the line is open. So if people want to give their own impressions of what it means to be a father or what fatherhood has meant in their lives, they are free to do so. Our number is 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. 616-4257. And of course, if you want to join us from overseas, the number is 305 432-9624. But yes, Carlton, you did say quite a bit about fatherhood, what it meant to you. I picked up from you the different roles that you have played in the lives of your children in terms of emotional guidance and support, in terms of communication, in terms of just general leadership, and I would say psychological support as well.
Mhm.
And interestingly, there are people who would define their roles differently.
Mhm.
And so I would really be interested in hearing, what other people say. Your comments on discipline were interesting as well. Some people, their first and foremost concept of fatherhood would be the disciplinarian,
Yeah.
right? So the disciplinarian, and for some people it means corporal punishment, which you said you don't
Mhm.
subscribe to. So people have different impressions of fatherhood. A lot of people, maybe the provider is the first thing that they would point to, but there are values and there is importance in a variety of roles. I guess you just have to have that mix. You have to have that mix. We have someone on the line. Okay,
Good morning.
let's
Mr.
take this
Carlton,
call.
this time around, you haven't heard that voice in a long time.
Yes, it's a while for tuners.
Huh?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing good.
I'm
I
good.
want always to say good morning to your co-host. That's with you.
Good morning.
Morning, my love. But I say I don't want the time to pass. I want to tell you a happy Father's Day. And you're doing a good job. I'm listening. Sometimes I don't call you. You want to take give another person a chance and hear everybody's opinion. My father, what I would say about him, he was a very good father, but he was very harsh
Hmm.
because he had, I think, only one boy and 8 girls.
Wow.
So, he was always vain and talking, which was good, eh? But
Yes.
sometimes I think he was a little harsh.
Hmm.
But anyway, maybe it made us good because we
Yes.
all came out very well. The only person that died is my brother, but only girls are one girl died and one boy died.
Okay.
So 7 alive, and we are enjoying life. But
Yes.
what you said, Mr. Carlton, you see, you come from a different breed.
Mm-hmm.
The people long ago was tight. But now, the way you spoke, I hope everybody understands because you gave a good detail about yourself and how you behave at your home with your children and your family, the people you meet. So, Mr. Carlton, I love you.
Love you too,
And I want
Nurse.
to tell you happy Father's Day. Love you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you, Nurse. I appreciate that. I
Yes.
truly.
So yes, so she's right. You spoke. You came from a different,
Mhm.
a different. Your perspective is different. And as I was saying too, different people might have so many different
Mhm.
things that they feel is the role. I will say though that in you mentioned, Carlton, this generation and the differences as well. In my peers who are fathers, I do notice a lot of, particularly for my friends who are fathers of girls, a lot
Hmm.
of upliftment. And I think this is very conscious, meaning that the fathers that I know who are my age group, for their little girls, they try to uplift them all the time. I will hear them, especially my best friend who is a father, he will always tell his little girl, she's beautiful, she's smart, she's into.
Yes.
So the words of
Uh-huh.
affirmation are always present in
That's
his
true.
dialogue with his daughter. So I will hear him saying those things. And I think that is a very important role
Excellent.
for a father to affirm his child. So the child knows from the start that they are, Carlton, and you mentioned, you have rights, so you are important, you are smart, you are beautiful, you are worthy. And this is something that when people lack it, they grow up, with self-esteem
Yes.
issues, or they grow up maybe looking for affirmation from other sources, and they might get in problems. But when the father is affirming from early, I think that sets a good standard. And I noticed that in some of the the I don't want to call them young parents, but the parents in their 30s now, 30s, 40s, that type of age group. I noticed that is a very conscious thing that the fathers are doing, and I think that's a trait to compliment.
And that is so true because that is something that I have done all my life as well. Really affirming. I mean, my daughter Zayn, um, Zen came here to the studio with me just before I think just around my birthday, and I was doing an infomercial, and she just said to me in my ears, "Daddy, I want to sing Happy Birthday to you." Nothing planned. It wasn't planned. We came to the studio. She just accompanied me, and whilst in the studio, she wanted to do that, and she sang the Happy Birthday song and all of that. And again, a child can only give you what you give to them. And the same thing with my boy. Like he will come every morning. He will come when after he's dressed, and he will rub my head. He'll rub my head. He'll rub my head every morning. That's his way of he's showing his affection. He will rub my head every day. He comes to my office in the afternoon. When he's leaving, he must say he loves me every day. You understand? And this is and it should not be, because especially young fathers, you should be able to tell your sons that you love them. Don't be afraid to express physical and emotional and verbal love. So it's and don't be afraid to embrace your boys, especially your boys. Hug them, tell them that they are awesome. Tell them that they will make it. Tell them that
Yeah, affirm them as well.
yes,
Yeah.
you have to do that too. And let them know, teach them affection, because when you teach them affection, they're going to teach their sisters affection. They're going to be affectionate to their mom. They're going to be affectionate to their girlfriends when the time comes, and subsequently their wives. And so if you never taught that to them, that's why so many of us as men, it's very difficult for us to show affection. um how often would you see a couple holding hands in roso walking? It would be almost like a nervous thing, like people don't really show, because of the way we were socialized. So now that we know better, we can actually, it's fine to kiss your son on his cheek or on his forehead, and to tell him and embrace him and tell him, listen, dad is there for you. Dad has your back. You are always safe. You will never lack. As long as God gives me life, you will never lack. I'm always going to be there for you. Feel free to run through me at any time when you're hurt, when something is happening to you. I am your best friend. And you talk to your children that way, and they will believe you, because you set that pace for them. I saw one of our callers was commenting on that analogy that I used about the blank page, and he was saying that it's so interesting. And it is. We have to begin to write that story. If the writing is already bad, when does it change? Because a lot of times to fathers, some people, they say, well, my father wasn't there for me. I had not nobody there for me. I don't know who my father was, and whatever it is. And you have that same energy with your children. So it's almost like you're punishing your children for what happened to you in your life. And your children are pure. They don't know what happened to you. But you can say, well, you know what? This happened to me. I did not experience that. My childhood wasn't the best. I did not have the best relationship with my father or mother. But now you are here. I am going to make sure that I give to you the best relationship that I can, with the help of God, and with other means. I'm going to make sure that I give that to you.
Alton, I also, one of the things that you brought up as well was spending time, which I wanted to highlight as being very important as well. That role of spending time. I notice a lot of people too making a lot of fathers making big efforts to spend
Yes.
time with their children and to teach them things whilst they're spending time with them, which I find a particularly, nice aspect of fatherhood, when a man will take his child his child along with him to whatever it is that he's good at, whether it's sports that he plays, or whether it's fixing vehicles, or whether it's the little skills that the man has. I like to see when the man is spending time with the child and showing the child those particular skills, so the child is picking up things from the father. And men are able to teach their sons in particular things that a woman cannot teach their son. So the man, is the one that can teach the child how to shave when the little beard starts to come. And, those things are things that the man can show. So I like to see that type of spending time as well.
That's important. We have a caller. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling. Good morning, caller.
Yes, Mr. Jolly. Very good program, Mr. Jolly. And that's why I always appreciate you, Mr. Jolly, on every program that you lead on to. So they say without Carlton, Jolly is nowhere. Without the information of Carlton, the system is nowhere. No, we are talking about maintenance, children maintenance, which is a very good thing. You understand? Now, the children maintenance in itself is like what they call family support, daddy and mommy. But if we look at the case now at this present moment, it's children making children. And the children that is making children is children that is living in a house without a grandfather and a grandmother. This is destruction to the support of life. Because why? They are just having a good time, which what they call sex, but they don't know about child maintenance. We need to educate them also about that. Now, also again, in my second point, the maintenance of the children is also those that raise with a family without being roughed up, cursing, argument. One as an example, one day you have to go to school and not teaching the child to even bathe properly, but roughing up the child. So that child now, when that child grow up with that type of language, even in the school, it's destruction. You understand? Even on the road, it's more destruction. So we need more support from the mother, the father, or the auntie, or whoever to explain to the teacher what's happening at home with that child, so that child can be a better child. That is a lot of effort, to be really having now at this present moment with this generation. Because this generation, there's internet children and there's Sunday. Those that will learn fast and those that will take a lot of time. So, Mr. Carlton, I love your program.
Thank
I can
you.
say so much. But sometimes they say they talk too much on the radio, but they doesn't want to speak. But they will criticize your neighbor child.
Thank you, caller.
The child. You
Thank you.
understand? So in
Yes.
closing, Dominicans, if you help your neighbor like how you used to help your neighbor before, instead you throw the food, you give it to the child that is hungry. That will help the child to help their brain from working, because a hungry child cannot learn just like that. You have to have food for you to beat the type of books that is going in the schoolyard at this present moment. And to the teachers, do not take advantage on the children that you don't know and the children that you know, because they bring in a little chicken and chips for you or whatever, you treat them better. Every child that say that is 41 children or 28 children in a classroom need proper care.
Thank
Okay,
you, caller.
teacher? Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Carlton,
Thank you,
I
caller.
wish you good.
Thank
Carlton,
you.
in everything you do, I wish you better.
I
Because
appreciate
there
that.
is no one to take over you and can be better
Thank
than
you.
you.
Thank
With
you, caller.
what? With Jesus Lord.
I
Bye-bye.
appreciate that. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Much appreciated.
Yes,
We have another
we have
caller here.
callers
Yes.
trying to call in again.
Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Good morning. This is
Good morning to you.
Jolly Ladies program?
Health
Yes, it is.
vibes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. I think it's so important that men from they establish really good memories with the boys. If you listen to Luther Van Warner, so you could really identify as a father. And also the girls. I think it's very important that the men, the fathers, really tell the daughters that they love them and show them affection so that if they don't look for it outside. The first guy that says emptily, I love you, they fall for it. If they get it from the father, I've already seen people say, hey, my father told me that already, so what? You know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so important that they really show affection so that the girls know what it is, what a man's love is, and not to just fall for any empty, I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
Yes. Good.
Yes. So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
that's
You know.
important too, and that's what we were speaking about, affirming the children, showing affection, so that they have that foundation
Mhm.
of love and affection and so on. So they very solid in that,
Yes.
and anybody cannot fool them with empty words if they've already experienced that from their father.
And we do have some amazing fathers. I'm just talking to a friend of mine. He's a police officer,
Hmm.
and he has been a single dad. He's raised his daughter since she was 2 weeks old
Wow.
on his own.
Hmm.
And listen, wherever you see him, once he's not working, she's there with him. Yeah,
Hmm.
she's there with him. And so I know this officer, and trust me, she's his daughter is always with him. So I applaud you, because what we're trying to look at is the positives, because we've over the years we've heard so many negative things. But I think our men, especially our young fathers now in their 30s, and are really making a significant change, and they are really representing, they're trying their best to be there in the lives of the children. And let me say too that not because you're in a relationship with a female or vice versa, that you should use the children or child against the father. It is not a healthy thing at all, at all, at all. And that happens where, people get separated, or the relationship break up, and or you're not supposed to see the child, and I don't want you to be part of my child's life. And who are you really hurting? You're really hurting that child. You're hurting that child, because that child one day may come back and tell you, but you were the one who prevented me and separated me from my mother or my father.
Hmm.
And so this is not the best practice. You don't put the children in between what may have happened, but you find a common ground that you all can actually um, co-parent. That both of you would be able to raise that child in the best ways possible, to ensure that you have a wholesome child that is fully developed.
Mm-hmm. Elton, and on that note, I think, especially with Father's Day approaching, it's prudent to remind people to appreciate fathers for their role
Mhm.
that they play. Fathers who are present, fathers, that
And
father,
stepfathers too.
yes, stepfathers, people with
Mhm.
people who have played the role
Mhm.
of a father, to appreciate them. I know with Fathers Day coming, people often say, "Oh, you don't see the gifts and so on outside." Like for
Yes.
Mother's Day, sometimes people maybe don't even know how to truly show appreciation,
Mhm.
but it's important to try something, whatever
Mhm.
it may be, that you feel that the man would appreciate, to try to show that appreciation. It might be for an act of service, it might be for an actual gift, or some words of affirmation to the man as well, to
Mhm.
show your appreciation, particularly on a day meant to celebrate fatherhood, which is Father's Day.
Yeah, and not and let us stop. Let us recognize that fathers are more than a whiskey and a brandy. We are way more than that. And so, as you're celebrating us, recognize that you want a healthy father too. You want to give, if you're giving your father a gift, you want to focus on something that is going to promote wellness, not something that's going to damage his body. And a lot of the times when Father's Day comes, we see sometimes it's just
Rum.
a bottle of rum, that kind of a thing that a father gets. And when his Mother's Day, the mother will get a dress, she will get a makeover, she'll be taken to a good restaurant for lunch with a nice clothes to wear. You understand? She'll get a nice bag or something. And when it's Father's Day, it's just so oftentimes a drink. And we really trying to change that narration and recognize that you want your father to be healthy. And so there are better options that are available that you can treat your father with. This coming Sunday, you can do for him. Maybe your dad may be hypertensive and may need to get a blood pressure monitor. That would be a good gift that you might want to give to him and teach him how to use the blood pressure monitor and say, well, dad, this is the best time to do it. This is how you strap it on, blah, 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 blah. Or he might be diabetic and it's a good way to get him a glucometer that at least his sugar levels can be checked and he can know how to do it. So there are things that can be given, supplements. You can put a nice gift set together, put some good vitamins, a good
Yes.
tonic or something your father
I
is
like
looking
that idea,
at.
Carlton.
Yes.
Some of the things that you've promoted before, maybe if it's for general health, for what you call it, brain health, even for prostate health,
Right.
some of these supplements that are good for these things, specific to men as well. They can try a package of that for the man. I find that's a very good idea. That is a
Yes.
very good gift
Because
idea.
all this rum that we give into our men, nah, I don't subscribe to that too much.
I see we have someone calling in. Carlton, let's take this call. Caller, good morning.
Good morning to you, caller.
Hello, Carlton and Trudy. Good morning.
Good morning to you, my dear.
Carlton,
Morning.
happy Father's Day.
Thank you so much.
What you were saying a while ago there about this drink, and I was about to call to say that getting your rum or a tool or those things there. To me, Father's Day, you either take them for lunch, the family sit together, and other things, send them for pedicure, send them for
Nice.
something else. See, as you said, but this rum, the advertising rum, this to me, hour. But what I want to say, it's good, as you said, it's good. Now the spirituality part, you mustn't forget it.
True.
We need you. If you notice, the Catholic Church has something going on. Bring
Yes,
a
I
man
see
to
that.
church.
I see that being
And it's not for
advertised.
Catholics alone, it's for everybody. Bring a man to church, bring a husband, bring your uncle. Because, the men hardly go to church, you see the women. So all that is part of the bringing up. Now, another thing I want to say. Well, I have a granddaughter there and her father. I'm telling you what I see. She's so close to that father. She loves her mommy too, they're there. But I notice she clings to that her daddy.
Girls.
I know. I don't know if girls cling to
Yeah,
their father. I don't
girls
know if it's
generally.
security or they feel safe or
Yes.
something like that. And then all the way when she was her baby and she would jump, she used to jump all on his back. So he had to carry her, around, carry her. Even now, my Carlton, she's 13. If you give her a chance, she'll jump on his back.
Yes.
Yes, to carry her,
The first hero is the daddy.
on the back.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a sport, anything she likes sports, her daddy, she says she wants to go, her daddy will take her. If it's netball, school playing, she likes football, anything, she said, her daddy will take her along, you understand?
Yes.
She wants to go to a movie, her daddy will take her to a movie. She and the mommy, and daddy and mommy, and they go to movies. But that connection there, Carlton, she just clinging to that father
Daddy.
there. So,
Yes.
yes, I sometimes ask why, but I think probably
It's the
the
secure.
girls
Yes. The
cling
secure.
to the father. What is
Yes.
it, Carlton? Is it the
It's the
security they
security.
feel?
It's the security. The girls,
Yes.
girls generally cling on to their fathers and the boys with their mothers. And the boys is all about the love, the affection that they normally would get from their mothers.
Yes. So
And you see it
have a
even
good
even now,
relationship.
like no matter how a guy is, you curse his mother, he's seeing red.
Yes.
You might curse his father and he don't bother,
Uh-huh.
but you insult his mother, whether she's alive or dead. and
Yes.
he's seeing red. So it's something. It's about the affection and love
Yes.
of
So
the
that
mother.
relationship with
Hmm.
the father is good. And as I said, don't give any fathers rum and whiskey and things like that. Get something better. Say bring them to a hotel with the family, have a good lunch, you understand? Never pedicure, give them something healthy. Some cuddling. You know, Carlton.
I agree.
Not that kind of rum thing. And another thing, they give them tool. At that time, we don't want tool, you know. I don't want no hammer, no nothing. You can give them the hammer after that.
Yes.
You know, after the sizzle, but for God, don't come and give me hammer or tool thing. Anyway, have a good day.
Take care. Take care. Take care, Miss. Thank you. And again, yeah, you
Thank
can give
you.
them a nice perfume, something that's intimate that he can wear, that when he puts it on, he remembers you. You're lingering with him. Let's take this caller. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Blessed day to you, Carlton, and to Trudy. How are you all
Hi.
doing today?
Blessed day to you, my dear. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you? And welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back. And Trudy, happy belated birthday.
Thank you, and
No,
same to you.
I didn't get to speak to you for your Earthstrom. But, I'm listening to this show today, and it is such a great, great, great show because here it is when Mother's Day is around, everything is all about mom. It's all about mom. But for Father's Day, it's like cricket. You don't see much going on for fathers. And we have to celebrate our dads. We have to celebrate our fathers because, hey, without the seed, it won't be possible for us.
That's
to do
correct.
it. So whether, even like growing up, I did not have a good relationship with my father, but I still honor my father for the mere fact that he is my father. That's who the Most High, sent for me. So, I still honor him in that aspect. And when you speak of, just the point you were making, because usually fathers, the way they are socialized as boys or as young children, it's like they say we parent the way we were parented, or we go sometimes the extreme. When I took my child development class, and we go to the next extreme. And sometimes we always see that as the disciplinary person, and so you see me in a bad light.
Yes.
But I'm saying it's for today, especially in today's day, we have to educate ourselves. Fathers have to educate yourself. If you don't know, you have to go and you have to learn.
I
It's
agree.
just like being in a relationship. If you don't know how to date a woman, you don't know what to do, I would say go ask AI, because at this point in age, we can't be teaching them everything. So you have to make it a point to go and to learn the information so that the children you're rearing these days are much better adults, holistically, And then for fathers, I am doing my, Empress Holistic Wellness, shameful plug. I'll be doing pampering all week for fathers. So don't give them any hammers, you're right, like the chorus said. Don't give them any tools. Don't give them the same old tie and socks and a bottle of rum tied around it. No. Give them something that they're going to appreciate, that they're going to feel good, they're going to feel loved. If you want to come in with them to get the massage, you can come in. I will show you all the tricks of the trade, how to have your man love up on you, how to love up on your man, for Father's Day. All right, so have a great day and happy
Thank
Father's
you.
Day to
Thank
all
you. Thank
wonderful
you.
dads out there.
Definitely appreciate that. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yes,
And,
Carlton.
and we getting many people who are agreeing
Yes,
that we
definitely.
need to give the fathers more wholesome gifts.
Yes. I've always said that. I'm laughing when people say it this morning because I have always been preaching this thing about that alcohol as the primary gift for men and how telling it is of what we think about men, that the only gift we want to give them is alcohol.
And domino
I've always been preaching, but I'm laughing now because I'm hearing other people saying it, and I'm saying to myself, so boy, I hope men are not listening and saying, see how you're spoiling my chances of getting that that Johnny Walker that I wanted. But it I just think it means a lot more to give the father something, as Carlton you said, that is a health promoting
Mm-hmm.
gift or a wellness promoting gift, because we do know of the detrimental
Of
effects of
course.
alcohol or overconsumption
Mm-hmm.
of alcohol. So these gift ideas I think are good. Carlton, is the Father's Day village on this weekend at
It
Jolly's?
is. It is. I
Yes,
saw
I know
that.
typically on the Saturday
Yes, I saw that.
before Father's Day, there'll be the Father's Day village activity at Jolly's. I know last year it was on. So
Yes,
I
it is
anticipate
on.
that it will be on this year.
It is on this
Okay.
year. I'm
Okay.
actually looking for the bulletin on it, but I know
Okay.
it's on. I
Okay.
stay in an arm wrestling competition on Saturday.
So there may be some different activities
Yes, I'm
going
seeing
on
an
for the
arm
for.
wrestling competition happening on Saturday,
Mhm.
the 14th, from 12 p.m.
Okay.
both at
Is that
Mega
mega?
and Portsmouth.
Okay.
Prizes to be won.
Mhm.
So father's going to do some arm wrestling.
I
And I
remember.
guess people will be cheering on. They might bring their children also to cheer on.
Yes. And
Um,
there's a breakfast
and there is a
sale as well
yes,
at Mega.
yes, only $20.
Mhm.
I'm seeing that too.
Mhm.
So, but on Friday when I come in, I will actually talk a little more about it, all the different activities that's going to be happening for
Yes.
Father's Day. Compliments Jolly's Pharmacy. But that's what we try to. We really try to promote better alternative wellness activities and for youth. As we said, it's Father's Day this weekend. And for the ladies that are saying, well, I am father and mother, we respect you. We respect you. I cannot judge you and say, well, you're not in your way, in your own words. That's how you see it. But we still want to acknowledge that the seed was planted. The father had a role to play. Unfortunately, he may not be playing that role. Will you find it? I do hope that you'll find it in your heart to forgive him and let God do the rest. A lot of the times is situations that is beyond you, and that's why I said earlier on that you need a healed man, because a lot of the times if you make child with somebody that's broken, somebody that's scarred, it is more than likely it's going to play off, even in the way that if this man doesn't know what it is, he does have no idea of what it is to be a father, and he wasn't ready for a child and all of that. More than likely, he may not want to take up the responsibility of
Mhm.
being a father. And someone was saying that there is a difference between a father and a daddy, and I think the daddy is the more emotional aspect of fatherhood, where you really encapsulate all of the precepts, all of the great things that makes an awesome father. I see we have another caller. Uh,
Welcome.
yes, good morning. Good morning to you.
Yeah, I'm just calling to sympathize with that father who lost his son up in Jordan.
Oh, yes.
And that is Natalie Simon grandson.
Yes, yes,
Okay, so I just called to sympathize with both he and his wife
yes,
and telling them to hold strong.
yes, that's true.
Okay, and then I would like to congratulate my son, Linton Alfred, for taking very good care of his two boys.
Hmm.
Oh my God. Carlton, those two boys, they cannot do without him.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I have to thank God for him taking courage, strength to take care of them. Yeah, I ask him God to give him this strength. Yeah, thank you very much, Carlton.
You're welcome,
And
caller.
happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I love when you see, the mom call and acknowledge the great work that her son has been doing as a father.
Mhm.
This is telling. This is really really
Mhm.
awesome, and that's what we're saying. We're seeing the change. You look at the PTA meetings. You look at fathers, being present now at sports events and really trying their best, and we need to encourage them.
Right,
We
right.
really need to encourage the fathers, the young men who are out there playing their part. Some of them they may be lacking on some areas, but we still need to encourage them. And even when we've approached them to tell them something, let us be conscientious the way that we do it. Let's not do it in a way that we're judging them, but let's do it in a way that where we can let them see the benefits of doing whatever it is better. Why is it better? How is it going to benefit you? And it's going to benefit your child or children when you do it that particular way. So I've been an advocate for no caning of children for a long time. I think it's really really I think it's slavery type of thing to take a whip and beat up a child and the child's skin is all marked up, and I just don't believe in that. I really believe in constructive way of conversing with your children, that they really know difference between of right and wrong, and that they know as well too. You can also have consequences or how we call it.
The repercussions.
Yes. So this is what if you do this or if you don't do this is what may happen, but not necessarily having to take a belt and a whip and and beat up a child. And I'm seeing less of that too, though.
Yes, people are learning. And so I will point out Empress, when she called, made a good point. It's about learning that sometimes if you maybe do not know how to effectively execute your role as a father, there should be no shame in, you reaching
Yes.
out and to someone maybe that can guide you, or you endeavoring to learn how to father in a more a more effective way. If you feel like you need some guidance on the role, there are men who can provide guidance
I agree.
on that for you. And the other caller sympathized with a father who has lost his son. But as Father's Day is approaching, we also will recognize that many people have lost their fathers, and Father's Day would be a time of grief for them as they reminisce on the time that they lost with their father. We have so many men who depart at a young age through acts of violence, through the accidents, the accidents that we see so regularly, the frequent suffer the people who are dying in a lot of these motor vehicle accidents are men. So this upcoming Father's Day will be a time too that a lot of people will be grieving the loss of a father, and I want to extend condolences to these people as well, and ask them to take courage. But there are other people in the lives of children who may take the role of the father and who may try to stand up and show children that that fatherhood. And I want to compliment that as well. I see uncles and stepfathers, Carlton, you mentioned godfathers. Yes, taking that role. I lost my father myself at the age of 5, and I have had men, my uncles, that have stood up and taken that role as well. So I just want to compliment and encourage the men who do that.
Definitely. So we are just about out of time this morning on Health Vibes. I see we have one more caller. Let's take it very, very quick. Let's take this person very quickly. Good morning to you, caller.
Yes, Carlton, you see, I could not stay on the side. I have one little point to make there, and my skin keeps burning me. Well, to the nation, this is from experience. This is not no nonsense policy. I want to call on some of the mothers as Father's Day is coming, okay? So we can have a little more family appreciation, daughters appreciation, son appreciation. Carlton, this is from experience. If I wasn't strong and learned to give it to God, where would I be? Hospital, jail, burial, or funeral. From who? From the heads of my family. You see, sometimes what the mother passed with the father, it turns on to the son or the daughter. Now, according to how the son reacts, they say he's bad, he's rude, but the pain in his heart, it's like a dumb central system that is coming inside of you. So when you say certain things, it look bad in the presence of other people. So I asked those that believe in that I was so bad in saying what I was saying. It's because of my frustration and I could not take it. And then I had to give it to certain people. And they used to take it as a mockery over me. But I was so strong. Every time they tried to laugh after me, I had to give it to God and ask God to help me for what I'm going through.
All right, caller.
With the heads of the family.
Thank
and
you.
I thank God for teaching me to grieve and let go. So Dominicans, you have to let go whenever your mother is not dealing with you or your father is not supporting you. Just let it go.
All right, caller, we have to go. We're out of time now. But I appreciate your call. I appreciate you. All right. All right. Thank you.
Yes, Carlton. We are indeed very much out of time.
We have to leave the studio now.
Yes.
But again, from all of us here at the studios of QFM, from all of us at Jolly's Pharmacy, we say to you, have a good and enjoyable Father's Day when it comes on Sunday. To all fathers, we say we are standing here with you and we're saying we are doing an awesome job. We will continue to do a greater job in the name and the memories of our children, making sure that they maximize their fullest potential. So, as always, your health is indeed your greatest resource. Preserve it. Have a good morning, everybody, and continue to take care of yourself. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise.